Hi everybody, I'm Trish Christ. NECAT and our super crew of teenagers are here today at 50Forward. Executive Director Janet Jernigan is going to show and tell us all the cool things they do in our community.
And Trish, we're excited to have you here, and come on in and let's see what's going on.
Show me, this is great.
It's our Nashville.
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 We all know how to talk about our organization during meetings, but what about the chance encounter of a lifetime? You never know who may share your next elevator, notice your logo on a notebook or a tote bag, and ask what you do. What's the clearest, most persuasive thing you can say in a short elevator ride?
I think for anyone who's aging or anyone who's involved with someone who's aging and their issues and concerns, that 50Forward really is the organization that can provide the resources. So if someone needs to be involved with volunteer work or classes and activities to stay active and be involved in the community, 50Forward is the place. If someone is experiencing some disabilities and frailties as a result of an aging process, then 50Forward has a full range of supportive services to make sure that we're going to be your partner all throughout the aging process.
Let's talk first about something that I think matters a lot. It's at the heart of all of this. Let's talk about purpose. What is the purpose of 50Forward in your mind?
Our whole purpose is to support and engage older adults and to give whatever kinds of support, programs, services that will help people to be the very best they can be, and age is just the very best that they can possibly be. There are a lot of challenges that confront people in the aging process, and it's our whole mission and purpose to help people through that journey.
What I've learned over the past few weeks with you guys is that it's kind of a combination of the coolest clubs in town.
Absolutely.
Right?
We have people at our Madison station that always say it's really like a country club for them in that area.
What are some of the activities that people can do in your various...
Hundreds and hundreds of activities, all the way, every kind of exercise program that you could possibly imagine, Tai Chi, yoga, Zumba Gold, any kind of stretch classes, art classes in every medium, you know, oil, pencil, all of that, foreign languages.
Wow.
Really any kind of interest that someone has, if they will say, I'd be interested in doing whatever it is, then if that makes good sense and if it's not illegal, we say, yes, let's find someone who'll instruct in that. Or for instance, at our Madison station, we had several people that decided they'd like to take a hot air balloon ride for one of our programs is 50Forward First. And
wow.
So people think about things that they've never done, that maybe they always wanted to do, or maybe they never wanted to do, but they think now maybe is a good time to try. So we had a group that went up in the hot air balloon. I think that some of the people in that same group went and took a ride around the race car track.
I didn't know about those things.
Oh yes.
And those are called firsts. 50Forward
First.
Cute.
If you've never done that, if you've never scuba dived before, then you might want to take some scuba diving lessons. There's all kinds of things that people may have been so busy with their careers that they never did take art classes before. That's very common. We have many people who've become very accomplished artists and never in any of their schoolwork or their career had they ever really picked up a paintbrush, who found that they have amazing talent.
Do people become members of a center? Do you pay dues to take advantage of these classes?
We do have membership, and it's very reasonable, but we do have scholarships for people who either are at poverty level or 200% of poverty. You would just pay half of that. So we'll make sure that anybody who wants to participate can do it.
That's amazing. So with your membership fee, you can do all of these things?
You can do many of the things. We do have some classes that have additional program fees when you need supplies, for instance, art supplies and things like that. So we do have, some of our programs have minimal fees, but many of them are at no charge.
Well, the centers that I have visited are beautiful, and it's sort of part dorm room vibe because they're friends hanging out, talking, playing cards, catching up.
Right.
That group living feeling, friendship, people hanging out in the clubhouse maybe is a better analogy.
Exactly. People are always saying it really is a home away from home. And so many people move here maybe to be near their adult children, and they don't have any friends, and they come and get involved with one of our centers, and it really is like their home. A lot of times adult children will tell us, well, you know, we almost have to have an appointment to see our mother because she's so busy doing things through 50Forward and going on trips to everywhere that you know, more time is really spent generally with folks at the center than it would be with family members.
Wow. Tell me about how it got started. I know you had a different name in the past. I remember the name change debates and strategy, which is great. How did it begin?
Well, actually, I was alive 60 years ago when the organization was formed, and it was actually formed through a man who's named Dr. Sebastian Tenay, and he was working on his PhD, and he did his thesis on, he believed that the folks who were in state mental hospitals, actually older people, would not need to be there if there was some type of community resource available. So he did his thesis on that, and then through that the Department of Mental Health gave a $50,000 grant to start what was called then Senior Citizens Inc.
Wow.
And so it started out from kind of a one base center, the former Tarbox School building from Metro, the Knoll Center that used to be on Broadway, and then over the past 60 years just expanded into many other parts of the community in Davidson County and Williamson County, and then added all those other programs and services that we have.
I think people fear aging. I think I fear aging. I'm not entirely sure. That's not exactly right, but there's an anxiety around aging. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Is that sort of an American thing? In other cultures that you may be aware of, is aging perceived differently with, do you see what I'm getting at? There's what is that scary thing about aging for us?
I think we see that all the time, and it manifests itself in a lot of different ways. Many times we'll have people who are very active and come in to volunteer, for instance, through our Friends Learning in Pairs program, where we link older adults with young children who have educational needs, and they do the tutoring, and the children are wildly successful now in their schoolwork. But sometimes folks who are very active in the community may see someone who perhaps participates in our Adult Day Services program, where we work with people who are more frail and have disabilities, either cognitive or physical disabilities, or both, and it's just a little bit, you know, just a little bit, well, you know, that's not me. And I think a lot of times people may feel that way because somehow deep down they realize, well, yes, at some point that could be me, and it could be really any of us. And so there are many challenges with aging. There are also many, many opportunities for the majority of people, I believe, and certainly the people who are associated with 50Forward. It's really just some of the best time of life.
A phrase struck me as I was researching about 50Forward and just thinking about the aging process for myself and my loved ones, and aging deliberately strikes me as sort of what the centers are about. If we're afraid, oh golly, I'm going to get frail, I'll begin to lose my friends, my family is busy with their own lives, and if I fear isolation as I age, or I fear people taking advantage of me financially or in other ways as I age, then I think the flip side of that is, okay, I will age deliberately then. I will find a network like the people at 50Forward, my colleagues there essentially, and staff there. There is a way to do it where it's not just something that's happening to you.
Absolutely, and I think people who all the way just through their lives who are able to reach out and get resources and network, and there's really nothing that any of us could experience that someone else has not already experienced, and there's so much that we can just learn from other people who've gone through the same thing.
I would suspect that staff at your centers receives a wealth of joy and information and friendships from people who come to your center for service.
Every day. I mean, just the stories that people tell us every single day about what a difference it has made in their life to be involved with 50Forward is such a morale boost for the staff. And when we ask folks to tell us, what do you love about working at 50Forward, it always goes back to the people that they've met and to the role models that they've been involved with and just the relationships that they've made.
So you've convinced me. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. I might not even wait my 13 months. I'm in.
No, don't. We have all ages who are involved with 50Forward, that's for certain.
So someone watching us right now on TV, how do we get them involved? What's the first thing that someone who wants to know more should do?
All they need to do is just contact one of our centers. We'll follow up because we really like to have people involved. We're actually involved with about 20,000 people in the course of a year, and somewhere between 2,500 and 3,000 volunteers.
Wow.
And then thousands of people who come in and take classes, many more people who would be more frail and might need a service like our Meals on Wheels or our Adult Day Services program. So we believe we have something for everyone who would be in that age range. And then, of course, we're involved with a lot of people who are younger, who may be caring for an older parent or relative. Then we work with so many children through our intergenerational programs like foster grandparents or Friends Learning in Pairs.
Nice. Tell me about foster grandparents. That sounds cool.
Foster grandparents actually has been a program. We were one of the first in the United States. It was started under President Johnson's War on Poverty, and that links older adults with young children who have special needs in either child care centers or public or charter schools. And the volunteers are all either they have incomes that are pretty much at the federal poverty level, so they actually do receive a stipend for the volunteer work they do, $2.65 an hour. Most of those folks will use that for things they need like medication, or many of the foster grandparents have used that for special toys. I know we had one foster grandparent who for several years on the weekends would go to yard sales and buy stuffed animals that were much loved. She would take them home and wash them up and put new ribbon and new eyes and fix them up just like new toys. And so that she furnished every child in the elementary grades in the school where she was assigned with a toy.
Wow.
So we have about 70 foster grandparents who volunteer in child care centers and schools every week, and all spend at least 20 hours a week doing that, and they're linked up with children. So in that program generally we'll be involved with about 1,000 children every year.
My goodness.
And of course the kids make great success. We even have one of our volunteers in our Friends Learning in Pairs program who actually was a child who had a foster grandparent many years ago.
Wow. Wow, and has come up through the program, had her own children now.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's wonderful. Let's talk about, so I know that you have multiple centers, and all of these multiple programs happen spread over different locations. And they all have their own personalities, I think.
They do. They're really focal points of their community, and the community is very involved. At our Martin Center or our Donaldson Center, we do have fitness rooms with the exercise equipment and all. So it just kind of depends on what's available in the community and what the needs are.
So I think I know some of the activities at the various centers. I think there's jewelry making in one, dance, yoga, Tai Chi, financial planning workshops, I need that. Pool, I think you have a pool table and or that sort of setup in one of your places. Obviously you see friendships and relationships form. Do you see romance form? Do people begin to date in the center? Is that part of the?
We absolutely do. We've had lots of marriages actually over the years, though.
I would think
Yeah.
so. It's a place of
We have
joy.
some other romances where it hadn't led to marriage yet, but it's just been a great partnership. And then there are just some really sweet kind of friendships. I know in our adult day services, one of our staff folks was visiting over there the other day, and she was talking about a fellow, he's 92, and there's a woman who's 84 who's pretty lonely and shy, and there was a program going on, and they were just holding hands while they participated. So
Sweet.
just lots of really beautiful friendships.
I know you have worked in nonprofit a long time, and just as a general citizen in the community.
Would you believe 50 years?
Thank you for that. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Okay. That's amazing. That's what a wonderful service to our community, and your knowledge and your experience has hopefully spread to staff and certainly to me and now our viewers, and thank you for that.
Gloria Jones. Well, when I first started here, it was kind of hard. I've had a lot of health problems. Had both of my knees replaced and 2 back surgeries. So when I started, the treadmill, hurt me a lot. So I started on this, and I did 30 minutes a day for 3 days a week for about maybe a month and a half. Then I went to an hour. So now I do 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday aerobics, and I do Zumba Tuesday, Thursday, and strength training Tuesday, Thursday. And so far now I can teach, I take over the class sometimes when Janice is out, and I take over the strength training classes when Lisa's out. And I look at it like, if I don't take care of myself, nobody else is going to take care of me. And a lot of people would say, I hurt. You don't know, I hurt a lot every day. But I refuse to let my pain control me. I control my pain. So I get up, I take my shower, I get my body warm, eat ready to go, and I come. And I feel better after I leave. When I first started, a 2-pound weight was like 20 pounds for me trying to get up over my head. I couldn't do it. Now I'm at 5, 6 pounds, and some of the things I have are 8 pounds. And now she's got a 10-pound smash ball that she wants us to do. So, you do what you can do for your body. If you can't do what don't try to do what everybody else is doing. If you can't do it, sit down in the chair, do what you can do for yourself. Because it's only going to take care of you, not what somebody else said. And if they don't like what you're doing, tell them to turn their head and go the other way. You're here for yourself, and that's the way I look at it.
Teresa Clark. It's been 3 years since I had my stroke, and I hope to get back in the swing of things and not to be a victim no more. I'm a victor. When I had the stroke, it left me very confused a lot, and but once I met Alex, my worker, she just knew what to do, and I learned to adjust. They awesome. They always give you that smile. When some mornings when I'm feeling really bad, when I know they coming on Fridays, it just, how you doing, Miss Clark? How you doing today? And just for somebody to care enough to go out of their way to make sure that you get what you need, and it's awesome. It's just overwhelming sometimes, the kindness that they show. The staff here of 54, the outstanding job they did with me, and making sure that victims don't always get crucified to the point where when I say I didn't do something, I didn't do it, and they just step right on in and make a difference in people's life.
My name's Courtney Robinson. I'm the director of the Adult Day Service program at FiftyForward. And at the Adult Day Service, we work with adults 50 and over. Many of our clients do have some sort of physical, cognitive, or memory issue going on. And they generally come to us during the day so caregivers can continue to work. And we just have a lot of fun during the day. We do lots of activities, we do exercise, we do lots of fun outings. We just stay busy all day, so it's a lot of fun.
My name is Julius Pascal Sr. Well, I go out there and enjoy them for Christ in my life and enjoy the people out there. They're so friendly and they all have a wonderful smile.
Delta Pascal. Being a caregiver, I have complete peace of mind because I know that I'm leaving my father-in-law in a safe, comfortable environment and somewhere where he's going to be stimulated. And that allows me to be able to go to work and not worry about him being taken care of.
We are licensed by the state of Tennessee Department of Human Services, so we do have an 8-to-1 client to staff ratio. So we always have 3 to 4 staff there and tons of volunteers and student groups through the summer, so we have lots of folks in there to help us. People like Julius is my best part of the job. It really is. Julius is about one of my favorite people in the whole world, and you can just tell by his smile that he brings a lot of light into people's lives, and mine included.
What I have found at Belmont 50Forward is that the program is a total program. It's a mind, body, spirit connection, and I love the way that the adults are treated as adults and respected, and the stimulation, the physical, the cognitive, all of that is age appropriate for an adult. And it's just a marvelous program, and it was just a godsend to our family.
My name is Juanita Lockhart, and I'm a volunteer with the FLIP program, which means Friends Learning in Pairs. And I've done that for over 8 years. It's a teacher or a mentor and a child, and it's like a one-on-one, and we get to know each other and we talk and just become partners. And the children build up the confidence and learn who I am and I learn who they are, and we just build that friendship throughout the year. And it helps in the learning and self-esteem. We start off with simple kinds of things, getting to know the students. Usually I ask them to tell me about themselves, if they have any brothers and sisters, what their hobbies are, what their dislikes and likes are, and what their favorite sports are, and what they're good at doing. And we do that kind of thing, and then we start with little simple words, and we build those words into sentences, and the sentences into paragraphs, and eventually they become readers. Oh, we're talking in some cases, maybe 50 or 60 years difference in the ages, which means that we are dealing with a different generation. And and that means that we are more patient and more understanding, and we're not in a hurry. We have lots of time, and a lot of these children don't have that self-esteem, and they have a low self-image. And that's part of the program also. We do the reading, and we help to build that self-image so that they build up the fact that I can do. I see me, and I see me doing this. And so they began to build up that self-esteem, and that helps to build the character, and it helps to build them, as far as their self-awareness.
So this is one last little surprise segment for you.
Okay.
It's the speed round of questions.
Okay.
And it's just like when we were kids. I ask you a question, first thing that comes to your mind, boom, and then we go on to the next one and so forth. What is your new tagline?
Love life at 50 plus.
What room do you laugh in at work?
All of them.
What room do you cry in at work?
Whew. Well, I certainly, when I hear of situations where people really have desperate circumstances, wherever that is, it's always very touching, particularly when you go to our adult day services program and see folks who really are, facing some pretty serious disabilities as they age.
Yeah. How fast can you run a mile?
How fast can I run a mile? Now or before?
Now.
The fastest mile I've run is about 6 minutes, and I can probably tough it out somewhere between 7.5 and 8 minutes.
Beautiful.
Now.
Beautiful. What's your best advice for a 50-year-old?
For a 50-year-old, I believe to be as active as you can possibly be, to really focus on your health, focus on learning new skills, networking with other people. Just continue to stay involved.
What's your best advice for a 70-year-old?
Same thing.
What's your best advice for a 90-year-old?
I think it's pretty much the same thing, and we have some folks who are 90 years old who certainly give that same advice to other people.
Will you bike, run, or swim today?
Have already run today at River Park, so yes.
What's the mark you want 50Forward to make on the world?
I believe to be a model for helping people age in the very best way possible.
And last of all, what's your website?
www.50forward.org.
Janet, thank you so very much for everything.
Thank you.
It's our Nashville.
It's our Nashville.
It's our Nashville.